Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather forecast for June 29, 2026 and the weather health issues. We do keep additional graphics at TPATW. We maintain a storefront on Amazon. Looking at the surface map for Monday, actually looks rather simple with high pressure really dominating much of the eastern two-thirds of the country, but there is a cool front stretching all the way from Las Vegas to Minneapolis, some cooler air behind, the only cool air across the country. Everywhere to the east there is a warm front stretching from Minnesota all the way down to South Carolina, and you will see Bermuda High pumping warm, hot, moist air all the way across the eastern two-thirds of the country, basically from the Rockies all the way to the Atlantic coast. Looking at our vitality index, which is a composite where the individual weather elements may have some impact, and you'll notice most of the eastern portions of the country are yellow or at least some risk, and most of that is heat. But in the plains, in the central plains and the central Mississippi Valley, you can see we've still got a lot of activity going on across Iowa, Illinois, down into the Missouri Boot Heel, and of course a little bit going on up here in northern Minnesota. Pressure change at this time of the year is usually pretty moderate or actually minimal. We do have some rising pressure here from really from Utah across northern Colorado into Wyoming and into Nebraska. A little bit of falling pressure right along the Canadian coast up at Minnesota. Temperatures. We have blisteringly warm temperatures coming from most of the eastern two-thirds of the country. We have some cooler temperatures out west, but notice, interesting, in the middle of that cool down for Utah, a little bit of bubble of rising temperatures, and that may have a health impact. But note we have significantly rising temperatures across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Looking at dew point temperatures, and people do wonder why we're looking at dew point temperatures. This is temperature change, so this is the significance, and we have rising dew point temperatures up the plains. But we'll be having rising dew point temperatures really across almost all of the east. We have some falling dew point temperatures with that cool front here in the west. Again, the vapor pressure showing much the same thing. The reason we consider and look at dew point temperatures and vapor pressure is that humidity, water molecules are much bigger than the molecules of oxygen, and so individuals with COPD, some difficulties with getting oxygen, always have a harder time breathing once the air is extremely humid. Looking at the Lifton index, which is a measure of instability, where the shower and thunder shower activity might happen, and you can see it's really covering much of the east except for New England. We do have it strong and sharp across Florida, but a very interesting bubble of Lifton index or instability from Kansas up into Iowa into northern Illinois, and so that'll be another area we look at for the showers and thunder showers. Now looking at the change in oxygen availability, you'll see we have migraine threat across West Texas, literally from southwest Texas up to the Panhandle, and then we pick up sharply a risk of migraine across Colorado, just touching the easternmost portions of Wyoming, but much of Montana, and then we pick it up sharply in Nebraska up to the Dakotas south, and especially in the north. Another interesting area in Florida, migraine threat from central Florida, basically Tampa north, Orlando, across Jacksonville and into the Florida Panhandle. The asthma and arthritis risk is really located sharply across Nevada into Utah, up into southern Idaho, but extensively and sharp across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and trying to bubble down into the Ohio Valley. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and get ready for the heat.